Hello students, welcome to the video tutorial of informatics practices for class 12th. Today we will be discussing the third part of the chapter working with NumPy. So let's begin. First topic today is joining or concatenating NumPy arrays. Now in this we'll be studying how we can join more than two arrays either horizontally or vertically or on any given axis. Okay, so basically there are two methods for them. First is using hstack and vstack. Here hstack refers to horizontal stacking, vstack refers to the vertical stacking. Second method is using concatenate, which involves the concatenation along a given axis. So let's first discuss about hstack and vstack. Suppose we have two lists here with the elements 1, 2, 3 in list 1 and with the elements 4, 5, 6 in the list 2. Also we have a third list with the elements 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Here you can see we have created a 2D array by using the nested list, and in list 4 also 4 and 5 are nested in a single list. So if we write this, a1 is equals to np.hstack list 1 comma list 2, so obviously we are saying to stack horizontally. Okay, now horizontally stacking of list 1 and list 2 has to be done. So if you see properly, list 1 has the elements 1, 2, 3 and list 2 has 4, 5, 6. So if we are going to stack it horizontally in this way, you can see the arrow, so the output should be somewhat like this. Now if we have a2 is equals to np.vstack list 1 comma list 3, and also we have a3 is equals to np.hstack list 3 comma list 4. So let's see how we will do for the a2. In a2 we have to stack list 1 and list 3 and also in a vertical manner. So here this arrow symbolizes the vertical stacking, so the output should be somewhat like this. Here you can see the list 1 was having elements 1, 2, 3 and list 2 was having elements 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So by vertically stacking them we have got the output here. Now for the next one, here we have a3 is equals to np.hstack list 3 and list 4. So we have to stack horizontally the list 3 and list 4. So obviously we can see for the stacking to be possible, the shape should be matching. Since list 3 and list 4 can be stacked horizontally, so the output will be somewhat like this. See? Now using concatenate, so whenever we are using the concatenate method we have to be very careful with this, that which index it involves for concatenating. Also if we are concatenating along the axis 0, the axis 0 is not compulsory because axis 0 is by default. Okay, but if we have to join along the axis 1 should be mentioned compulsorily. But for the stacking along axis 0, it is not necessary. If you are providing it, then also that is not a problem. But if you leave it, then by default the concatenation will be along the axis 0. So here we have one array arr1 with the elements 9, 8, 7, 4, 6, 5, 4, 5 and arr2 with elements 4, 5 and arr3 with 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 and arr4 with the given elements. Now if we write this line, j1 is equals to np.concatenate arr3 comma arr4 along axis 0. So be very careful with this, that axis 0 means along rows. So we have to concatenate array 3 and array 4 along rows. So already in ARR3 there are 2 rows and in ARR4 there are 3 rows. So if we are going to concatenate them, the shape is matching because of the same number of columns. So if we concatenate it, the direction should be of the concatenation should be like this, okay, and the output produced will be somewhat like this. Here you can see ARR3 was having 2 rows and ARR4 was having 3 rows. So all together we have got 5 rows and the column number was same, 3 in both of them. So the still column number is same, that is 3. Now if we write this one, J2 is equals to np dot concatenate ARR2 comma ARR3 comma axis is equals to 1. Now since the axis is 1, the joining or the concatenating will be along the axis 1, and the arrays to be concatenated are ARR2 and ARR3. So you can see the direction of arrow here. So we have to concatenate it along the axis 1. Now ARR2 is having just 1 column and ARR3 is having 3 columns. So both of them are having the matching rows, that is number of rows is 2 in both of them. So the stacking or the concatenation is to be done along the axis 1. So the output should be somewhat like this. As you can see, ARR2 was having 1 column and ARR3 was having 3 columns. So all together we are having 4 number of columns now. Okay. Now if we write this one, J3 is equals to np dot concatenate ARR1 comma ARR2 along the axis 1. So here ARR1 and ARR2 are to be concatenated along the axis 1, that is along the columns. So you can see ARR1 is having number of columns as 4 and ARR2 is having number of columns as 1. So if we are going to concatenate, we will be having 5 columns and both of them are having the same number of rows, that is matching row is satisfied. So the output will be somewhat like this. With this arrow we are showing the direction of concatenation. So the output produced will be somewhat like this. Here you can see the total number of columns is now 5, 4 for ARR1 and 1 of ARR2. So both of them combined to form 5 number of columns. Okay. Now using NumPy arrays, again we are discussing along using H-split and V-split. Okay. So if we have to split the given array, we have to provide the axis number again. That first of all, let's see, this array is given with the elements here 0 1 2 3 4 5 and so on. Here we have axis 0 for rows and axis 1 for columns. So total number of rows here is 4 and total number of columns here is 6. So if we write this line, AR1 comma AR2 is equals to np dot hsplit ARY comma 2. So here we can see that AR1 and AR2 are to be splitted. Okay, and here ARY comma 2 is symbolizing that you have to split the array ARY in 2 equal parts. Okay, and also where in a horizontal manner. So you can see if the splitting will be done, it will be done something like this. See, first color is of blue part, okay, second part is of red color. So what we have done here, we have horizontally split the ARY array in 2 equal parts. See, in both the parts number of rows and number of columns are equal. Both of them are having number of rows as 4 and number of columns as 3. Okay. Now again if we write AR3 comma AR4 is equals to np dot v split ARY comma 2. So here AR3 and AR4 are going to have a splitted arrays of ARY, and also the splitting will be in the vertical manner. So here Again we are going to split the ARY array in two equal parts, but this time the splitting will be along the vertical axis. Okay, so if you see, we have splitted the array ARY in two equal parts in a vertical manner. So if you see, there is a green part that is to be given AR3 name, and the pink part that is to be given the name AR4. So if both AR3 and AR4 are having equal number of rows and equal number of columns, that is, number of rows is 2 and number of columns is 6. Okay, now if we write this AR5 comma AR6 comma AR7, here what we have given is np.hsplit ARY comma 3. So we have to split the array ARY in 3 equal parts now, and also the splitting has to be done in the horizontal, because the split function used here is hsplit. Okay, so what we can do here, we'll have some output like this. See, what we have done here is we have splitted the array ARY in 3 equal parts, and since the splitting was to be done in the horizontal manner, so here it is. Okay, here the green part is of AR5 array, blue part is of AR6 array, and gray part is of AR7 array. Okay, now see, both all the 3 arrays, that is AR5 and AR6 and AR7, are having equal number of rows. That is, the number of rows here is 4 for each of them, and number of columns is 2 for each of them. Okay, now we have to see some arithmetic operations on arrays. Okay, arithmetic operations means whatever the operations can be, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, modulus. Okay, now these arithmetic operations can be performed by a single value, that is a scalar value, as well as these operations are performed on 2 arrays also. Okay, we will have an example here to clearly mention it. See, suppose here we are having AR1 into 3. This can be also written as np.multiply AR1 comma 3. So here, if we are going to multiply by 3, so what will happen, the whole array AR1 will be multiplied by 3 in each of its element. Okay, and also we are having AR1 into AR2, or np.multiply AR1 comma AR2. Okay, so first of all we will see the output of the first one, that is AR1 into 3. So each element is to be multiplied by 3, so we will have some output like this. 1 into 3 is 3, 2 into 3 is 6, 3 into 3 is 9, and so on. All the elements will be multiplied, and the output produced will be something like this. See, each of the elements of the array AR1 has been multiplied by 3, and we have got the output here. Okay, now the second case here is the AR2. Now we have to multiply AR1 and AR2. So see, now the multiplication is to be done along perspective row and column number. Okay, now see, if we see AR1, the element 1 is on the index 0, 0, that is 0 row and 0 column. Okay, and the similar way 2 is on the 0 row and 0 column, so the multiplication will be between 1 and 2. Similarly, in AR1, 2 is to be multiplied with AR2's 3, so the multiplication will be done according to the perspective indexes. Okay, corresponding index of AR1 and corresponding index of AR2 has to be taken to get the output. Okay, now if you see, AR1 and AR2 are to be multiplied, so the output produced will be something like this. 1 has been multiplied by 2 to get 2, 2 has been multiplied by 3 to get 6, 4 has been multiplied by 3 to get 12, 5 has been multiplied by 4 to get 20, 6 with 5 to get 30, 7 has got to be multiplied with 6 to get 42, and so on. Okay, now next, AR1 modulus 2 or np.remainder AR1 comma 2. Here what will happen, we have to take the modulus by 2. Modulus means you have to divide by the number and you have to take the remainder. Okay, and this could be written also in this manner: np dot remainder ar1 comma 2. That means ar1 has to be uh, integrated with the operation of modulus. So if we divide by 2 all the elements of array ar1 and take the remainder, the output will be something like this. See, 3 is when modulus by 2. So when we are dividing 3 by 2, the remainder will be 1. Similarly, if we are going to divide 6 by 2, the remainder will be 0. When we are going to divide 9 by 2, we will have the remainder as 1. And as correspondingly, we can see all the elements have been treated in the similar. Now, if we write ar1 modulus ar2 or np dot remainder ar1 comma ar2, we can see that we have to solve the modulus operation over these two arrays ar1 and ar2. So now what will happen is we have to take the perspective elements of ar1 and ar2 to solve the modulation. See, the first element for ar1 is 1, so 1 has to be modulus by 2, so the output of that will be 2. Then 2 has to be modulus by 3, then the output produced will be 2 modulus 3, that means 3 we will get remainder as 2. In the similar way, when we have to take the next element, 4 has to be taken in the modulus with 3, so 3 modulus 4 will be 4 into 0 is equals to 0, we will get remainder as 3. And similarly, we can see the output produced will be somewhat like this, as you see. Now you can see the fourth element also. Fourth element for ar1 is 4. Now it has to be modulus by 5, so 4 modulus 5 will produce the result as 4. Okay, in the similar way we will get the desired results of the modulus operations. Okay, now suppose again we are having these two arrays and we have to solve furthermore operations. Suppose we are going to subtract 3 from each element of ar1 by this line ar1 minus 3 or np dot subtract ar1 comma 3. You can see, if we are going to do this, what will happen is ar1 is to be subtracted by 3, so 1 minus 3 will yield something minus 2. 2 minus 3 will yield minus 1. 3 minus 3 will yield 0. So accordingly the output will be somewhat like this. You can see 1 has been subtracted by 3, the answer is minus 2. 2 minus 3 is minus 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 1 is equals to 4 minus 3 is equals to 1. 5 minus 3 is equals to 2. Similarly, rest of the elements have been operated. Okay, now suppose we have to subtract ar1 and ar2, so corresponding elements will be subtracted accordingly. So 1 minus 2, the result produced will be minus 1. 2 minus 3 will produce minus 1 again. 3 minus 4 will again produce minus 1. So if we are going to continue this, we will have minus 1 in all the outputs. Okay, so see, if we get the output, it will be something like this, minus 1 for each elements. Okay, I think it is clear now. So if the next operation is something like this, ar1 by 2 or np divide ar1 comma 2, the output produced will be somewhat like this. You can see each element of ar1 is being divided by 2, so the output has been produced accordingly. 1 by 2 is 0.5, 2 by 2 is 1, 3 by 2 is 1.5, 4 by 2 is 2, and similarly rest of the elements have been treated. Now if we are going to divide ar1 by ar2, each corresponding elements will be divided accordingly. So first 1 will be divided by 2, that will yield 0.5. 2 will be divided by 3. Okay, so the approx results can be seen like this. See, 2 divided by 3 has produced 0.6, 3 divided by 4 has produced 0.7. Okay, so each of the elements have been performed with the operation accordingly. So in this way we can say that all the operations of scalar values as well as operations between two arrays can be performed. Also we have mentioned earlier in the video that arrays support vectorized operations. So we have also seen this vectorized operation because each element is performed with the same operation as the single element is being performed. Okay, you getting this? Now there is an assignment for you. You have to create two 1D arrays, AR1 and AR2. Each of them should consist of first 20 each even natural numbers and first 20 odd natural numbers. So AR1 will be having first 20 even natural numbers, AR2 will be having first 20 odd natural numbers. So we have already studied that how to create the arrays, 1D arrays. You can use the arrange function for that. Okay. Then after creating those arrays, you have to perform the following operations. First you have to form a 2D arrays from each of them by reshaping them in 4 rows and 5 columns. Okay, obviously there will be 20 elements, so 4 rows and 5 columns will constitute 20 elements. And then after using this, also you know that by using the reshape function we can change the shape of the 1D array into the number of rows and columns which we want. Then after doing this, you have to show any two examples of array slicing on them. And third, you have to show two examples of joining these two arrays using both concatenate and hstack and vstack. We have already studied in this video how to use concatenate, hstack and vstack. So any two examples you can give for that, but you have to give two examples for each of them. Okay, that means for concatenate, for hstack and vstack. Next is give the output of AR1 modulus AR2. So you have to perform the modulus operation on each of the elements, each of the perspective elements of AR1 and AR2. So that's it for today, students. The next video tutorial will be starting the next chapter. This is the end of your chapter 1. So we'll start the second chapter now in the next lecture. Thank you.